More and more are joining them. The players are rejoicing.
Welcome to the Old Glammy Glammy podcast, a podcast dedicated to all things Glamorgan cricket. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, give us a follow on Twitter at Old Glammy Glammy or Instagram, search Old Glammy Glammy podcast. So sit back and enjoy with us the ups and probably downs of Glamorgan County Cricket Club.
Hello, welcome back to the Old Glammy Gammy podcast with me, Andy Ward, and alongside me, as always, Ed Lockett. We've had a bit of a break for the One Day Cup and the T20 Blast, but we're back and focusing now on County Championship, our remaining fixtures, and a lot will happen over the next 6 fixtures time we get to the end of September. Will we survive in Division 1? Or will we challenge? We'll be previewing our fixture against Leicestershire, touching on sort of the prospects of the next 2 months. But before we do that, we'll be reviewing the One Day Cup and the T20 Blast. And before we start all that, we will have some club news to round up. And I guess fresh off the press of the last hour, it's broken that Chris Cooke will be retiring at the end of this season. We've mentioned before on the podcast that Chris is our favourite player, so good things come to the end. He's hanging his gloves up, but obviously knew it was going to happen at some point. The form hasn't tailed off, still contributing in the county championship. But yeah, gutted. We send him our best wishes for what he decides to do next. I know he's got a young family. I know there's been tributes today from Mark Wallace. I think one of the quotes was that Chris Cooke is the club's best wicketkeeper batter, which I agree with in the modern era. Big gloves to fill, but I'll touch on who the next possible cab off the rank will be when I talk about the One Day Cup and the performances there. So best wishes to Chris and his family. Been an excellent servant, has been my favourite player over the recent years, and we'll miss him. But wish him all the success in terms of what he does next in his career.
I like the way he's come into professional cricket as well. Obviously, been born in South Africa and coming here to play club cricket initially in Hampshire, I understand. Yeah, he's really fought for it and he's had a great career. So, yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, he's playing in Hampshire for a while, and then we spotted him, and then he's gone on to captain the side, and he was involved with that record-breaking partnership with Sam Northeast. I think he scored the fastest T20 century. He's a club legend, and like I said, we will miss him. But yeah, all the best, Chris, for your future. From one player leaving us, from another who's signed a one-year contract, Connor Ryden, who we've commented over this season. He's been on trial with seconds. He has signed a one-year contract. He did have a couple of games in the One Day Cup. So yeah, good for Connor. He's similar to Chris in terms of his pathway. He's been playing club cricket in Australia. I think he shared the field with Marnus Labuschagne a couple of times. Hope that Connor can kick on and get some more opportunities in the first team next year. Yeah, one of the reasons I think we've given the contract is the injuries that's happened to Glammy over the last few weeks. Ned Leonard has got another injury, and I think he's ruled out for the season. We're not going to get to see the best out of Ned Leonard. Not featured much this year, a couple of games in the T20 and is injured. Yeah, disappointing. Tom Norton got injured when he was with England under 19s in the training camp. Out for the season, I think, which is a massive blow. Frustrating as we were keeping him wrapped under cotton wool and not playing him in the Blast, and then goes away with England and comes back with an injury, which is really frustrating. Joe McElroy is injured as well, so may not feature again this season. So that's 3 of our fast bowlers, seam bowlers out. So yeah, Conor Ryden is signed. Not entirely sure he's ready to go to bowl in Division 1. So Glammy have been playing in the seconds a New Zealander by the name left arm seamer Ray Toole. His nationality is New Zealand, but born in South Africa. He represents Central Districts in New Zealand. Has had some experience with Essex and Durham. Made his debut in 2019, Central Districts versus Northern Districts. So he has played in the Glamorgan second fixtures, and there was a fixture 10th of August against Worcestershire. Glammy lost, but in terms of his contributions, he made 44 with a bat. He took 3 for 68 opening the bowling, and he also took 3 for 11 in the second innings and also scored 18 with the bat. Glammy are playing at the moment in a game against Essex. Fortunately, we lost the toss and we were put into bat, so I don't think he hasn't bowled in this fixture, and he got 28 with bat but didn't bowl. But I think that's because Glammy withdrew him, so it's more than likely he'll be playing against Leicestershire in a couple of days' time. Yeah, as I say, the seconds lost against Worcestershire. They won by 3 wickets. Notable mentions with the bat: Will Smale 70, Alex Horton 32, and Bowler front Ray 2-3 for 68. Romano Franco got 253. He got 2 for 15 in the second innings. Against Essex, they won't do really well, actually. They made 321 for 9 declared. Jack Hope Bell, who I mentioned quite a lot, the roundup of the One Day Cup, 73, opening the batting with Eddie Byram. Billy Root didn't feature at all in the One Day Cup, which was slightly surprising, but I think that's because they wanted to just have the policy of letting the youngsters in. Billy Root 51. He also scored 94 today, Billy Root, to get us in a strong position in that match. So rounds up the seconds, rounds up the injuries. So we expect Ray Toole to play against Leicestershire. We will preview the potential Glammy first 11 at the end of the episode. That's pretty much the club news. Now, look, we will have to review our Vitality Blast campaign. We almost got there to the knockouts, but not quite. Just a reminder, we finished 5th in the table. Won 6, lost 6, 24 points. I think we could summarise it as being a decent year for the batters, and maybe not with the ball. Kieran Carlson, he was one of the strongest batters with 405 runs. And then Will Smale, 343 runs. Sean Dixon, who been a good signing for us this year, 336 runs. Other contributions from Ben Kellaway, Ace of Tribe as well. But I think it was the bowling department let us down in some situations. The phrase, Glammy have a habit of losing from the jaws of victory. There was a couple of games where I think we were on top, just didn't take the final wickets, or we didn't bowl economically enough. Our overseas, obviously, with Fazal Faruqi only played 2 games, then we had to draft in Jimmy Neesham, and we had Nathan McAndrew as well. So disappointing overall. The batters perform well. The bowling department, we're coming up short. We'd like us to strengthen in that department next year. Clearly, Ned Lenz needs to improve on his fitness. Will Tom Norton be able to play any games in the Blast next year alongside the county championship? We're going to need to strengthen, and it all may come down to our overseas recruitment, which I think, obviously, our first choice, you have to go after 2 games, so not easy with all the franchise cricket around the globe. I get that. Whether or not questions will be asked of the director of cricket, because we keep having this conversation about recruitment and overseas. It's clearly not the coaches who I'm going to say in this. It's clearly Mark Wallace and the. But yeah, we'll have to see if any pressure comes on him, or he makes any statements, because clearly we didn't need to recruit in the batting department, and we didn't, and that's a big tick. But the bowling department, we felt we were short, and I think that's where we fell down. If we are going to ever get to finals day again, we're gonna need to improve in that bowling department. So many times I think we were in a strong position. I think we had Gloucestershire down for 8, didn't we? And needed the 2 wickets. We didn't take them, and they got a big score at the end to win that. It's just so frustrating. I think we've got talent in that squad, especially in the batting department. and I think potentially off the bowling ranks as well. I think, and when we go on to talk about the One Day Cup now, um, there were three teenagers given their debut this year: Harry Wallace, Jack Hope-Bell, who we have commented on his performance in the seconds, and then Tom Edwards. I think we've mentioned his name in the seconds, but he made his debut. Um, he took wickets. I'll go over some of the notable scores, but his name comes up a couple of times. So we've got Tom Edwards, Tom Norton, coming through, Ben Morris as well. So hopefully we can nurture them and they can get the experience they need. And also, I mentioned Romano Franco. He's still a teenager, and it was his second One Day Cup campaign. So there are youngsters there, and they are coming through. But yeah, T20 Blast is where the club is going to make its money. Really, I think it had a little bit of success in the Division One Day Cup. We won two in the last 4 years. T20 Blast, we've been starved of success and starved of a finals day appearance. So hopefully we're building in the right direction. But on the One Day Cup, other debutants as well are Callum Nichols. His name will appear when I go over the notable scorers. And don't forget, Alex Horton is only 22 as well. He had a good campaign. Just going over some of the scorers. Jack Hope-Bell had 123 versus Sussex. That was our first win of the competition. Alex Horton got 122 that game as well. Our defeat against Middlesex, Tom Edwards took 2 for 7, which is a good performance from him. Callum Nichols scored 45 against Durham. Jack Hope-Bell got 48 against Derbyshire Falcons. Alex Horton with an 81 against Derbyshire Falcons as well. Then Tim Van Gerten got 118 not out against Essex. That was a great knock in vain. We lost that one. And Worcestershire Rapids, a game that I did go to, and thought that was a really good game, winning. Gorvin scoring the winning runs off the last ball was an excellent advert for my favourite competition, and also it's a nice way for us to finish, show some fight. A good captain's innings as well from Andy Gorvin. Tom Edwards took 3 for 55. Zain Hassan bowled really well, took 4 for 58, and actually seeing him bowl in person, he does seem to have got a little bit of pace, more pace than I've seen before. He got good returns. Jack Bell got 58, Callum Nichols got 70, but that partnership was 119 partnership, which steadied the ship and got us in a good position. We knew we were going to blood the youngsters. I think Glammy supporters, myself included, were surprised that Billy Root didn't play any role at all, didn't captain the team. They brought Ingram in for a game or two and then him. I know he picked up an injury in the T20, so clearly that was part of his rehab, and same as Tim Van Gerten as well. But slightly surprised that Billy Root wasn't in that side just to get a bit some experience. Eddie Byram, a couple of decent knocks, but some also disappointing shots and knocks as well. So disappointing for him. But we saw some youngsters. There's some talent there. That knock, Jack Hope-Bell looks for decent talent as well. Same as Callum Nichols. Alex Horton, I think, will be the next wicketkeeper batter for us. He deserves his chance. He's been on the books for a couple of years now. He's only 22 as well, so plenty of time to fill those big gloves left by Chris Cooke. Just to confirm that One Day Cup, we won the 2 games, lost the 6, finished with 8 points, finished 8th, and Sussex were below us, and they had 2 points. So that's the white ball competitions rounded up. We now turn our attention to the hotly anticipated County Championship Division 1, the resuming of this competition. A reminder of where we stand on the 18th of August. Glamorgan are currently 4th, 107 points. We're behind Warwickshire and Somerset, who are tied on 111, and then Nottinghamshire lead the way on 116. Sussex are below us, 105, Essex 105, and then Surrey 91, Yorkshire 89, Hampshire and Leicestershire, our next opponents, who Ed will remind us of their last result. They're tied at the bottom on 72. So all to play for. We always start these blocks in August, September, slowly, or we tail off. The season does tail off. I don't think we can afford to do that this season. Clearly, ambition is to stay up. Our last game was at back end of June with Surrey. That victory against Surrey, if you remember, when Billy Root had to open with Ace of Tribe. and Ingram got 80, Chris Cooke 101, and on the bowling front, Norton got 5 for 50. Ryan Hadley, that was his last game for us, I think 404 for 82. And then second innings, yeah, Carlson 67, Ingram 61, Dixon 26, and we won by 7 wickets. When we played Leicestershire at home, that was in April, it was a drawn match. We had 440 all out. They made 586 for 7 declared. And then it petered out into 137 for 2 match draw. I think we were behind the 8 ball on that game. Ed, you have been waiting patiently there. The last game that Leicestershire had then in the county championship, that must have been back in June then.
Yeah, so that was a 4-day game that finished on day 3 against Yorkshire. So finished on Sunday, the 21st of June, so a good while away. That was Leicestershire's first win of the season in the Championship. They beat Yorkshire by an innings and 39 runs. Yorkshire batted first and they were all out for 185. So Leicestershire's leading wicket takers were Ben Green and otherwise shared around. And then Leicestershire batted and were all out for 453. Main run scorers with hundreds were Rahan Ahmed and Nick Kelly. So commanding lead, and Yorkshire were all out for 229. Leicestershire won by 39 runs. So in that Yorkshire second innings, Josh Davey, Alex Green. Sorry, there's 2 Greens. There's Alex Green and a Ben Green. And Ajaz Patel got 3 wickets with Ben Green getting the other one. You could say they're a team full of confidence, but there's been a hell of a lot of different types of cricket played since then. I think this result is going to be like almost starting the season again. But players to look out for, I quite like the sort of honest bowling attack Leicestershire. So they've Ben Green, sort of steady, sort of all-rounder. He captained their last game against Yorkshire. And Josh Davey, very steady and honest player. And wicketkeeper would be Ben Cox. Pete Hanscom as well has been their overseas player. Patel is a good solid opener as well for them. But if Glammy want to go and really challenge, they've got to win this game, haven't they? Let's see what happens on this.
Thanks, Ed. Useful reminder of who's in the Leicestershire team. They didn't have a great T20 blast. They finished bottom of the North group, won 3, lost 9, 12 points they secured. Fared better in the One Day Cup. They finished top of Group A, won 5, lost 3. They come into the Red Bull with a little bit of confidence, having fared better than us in the One Day Cup.
Yeah, they're due to play Middlesex in September.
We look at the possible Glammy first 11. I think the top 8 pick themselves. I think Zain Al Hassan will open with Asa Tribe, Carlson at 3, Ingram 4, Dixon 5, Callaway 6, Cook 7, Tim Van Gooden 8, Mason Crane 9. And then it's 10 and 11. I guess Ray Toole will be 11. And then it's 10 then. Will it be Andy Gorvin? You're not going to throw in the teenagers. And I don't think Conor Ryden is Division 1 level, to be polite. So it's worrying. The other option, which I don't think they're going to do, is play Billy Roots, but don't think that's going to happen.
Just run through that bowling attack of Glammy there.
Tim Van Gooten, I think, tick. Mason Crane, tick. Ray Toole, tick. We'll have Callaway and Carlson. Zain Al Hassan will, but I think that's why Zain's in the team, to give that bowling. So we are struggling. But as you said, these wickets are going to be dry. So that may well be conducive to spin when we got Callaway, Crane and Carlson. And then the way Zain was bowling against Worcestershire even impressed me. 4 for 58, he did really well. Just not all doom and gloom, but to not have Tom Norton, J.U. McElroy as well has got championship experience. And we were 1 bowler down when Ryan Hadley went anyway. I know they were looking for an overseas sign, and it's tricky, isn't it, this time of year with the season has commenced down in Australia.
Massive loss, Ryan Hadley and Tom Norton. That's such a shame.
Yeah.
That's such a shame, even though
we are where we are. I am tinged with trepidation about what's going to happen over these next games. So we've got Leicestershire and we've got Hampshire as well, those 2 bottom teams. I am a bit cautious now, given the situation with the injuries. This is the hardest part of the season. Back to the 4-day games. They're going to be tough pitches. They're three-quarters of the way through the season now, these players. It's going to be tricky. As I said previously, we do tend to tail off in September. So the strength and depth isn't there. We go again. Hopefully, keep the togetherness in the squad and get a couple of wins, which would probably be enough to keep us up. It's a competitive division. That game will commence on the 20th. We're up at Grace Road. We'll be back following week to review what happened. We will then preview our next fixture against Hampshire, wonder if they'll still be bottom of the pile at that point. And then we'll be into September then. Thanks everyone for coming back and downloading and listening and subscribing and following us. We do appreciate everyone coming back and interacting with us. My thanks to Ed for this bumper episode. We'll be back next week. It just leaves me to say go Glammy and bye for now.
More and more are joining them. The players are rejoicing.